episode quattro of the Santana Moss podcast. Can you hear the drum roll? Very nice drum roll there.
What's up, buddy?
Travis Thomas, Santana Moss.
You know, your introductions, I just like the introductions, man. I like to just sit here and just let you talk, man.
Yeah, man. Well, here's my secret, a shot of J-Mo before we go on air. Just a little quick whoop, whoop, whoop. Now I'm ready to go.
That's what the secret is.
Yeah, that's the secret. Some of that yak.
Secret sauce.
That yak. You know what, man? There's a player on the Redskins that I admire. I love the energy he brings. You know, I always say, he a head busser. He a dog out there. And I told Tana about him. His name's DJ Swearinger, safety. And Tana says, oh, that's my man. We play cards together. I said, hold up. You know him? He said, that's my man.
That's my dog.
We'll bring him on the show then. Huh?
So, no further introduction, right?
Give him the drum roll. It's a good drum roll. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Swearinger.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What it do, what it do.
DJ.
What's happening?
We are in the building, man. We in the building, baby. How we doing?
We good, man. That's
good.
my DJ, a GOAT DJ.
Yeah.
You know it.
So,
That's
DJ,
your boy.
you know, I'm going to get it off started, man, for, you know, I just saw you last night, a few hours ago, it feel like. I ain't leave his house about 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, but, you know, me, when we playing cards and stuff, man, I'm always asking you questions about the game because you guys keep me involved and stuff. So, you know, I started off first. You know, how was practice today, man?
It was good, man. Everything went good. Second day with the coaches. Everybody getting back in the swing of things. You know, getting the muscle memory right, making them calls, because the football right around the corner. So, you know, we back into it.
One of the things I want to ask you the most, because social media has allowed, you know, so many fans and so many guys like myself, you know, retired guys to be involved with guys' workouts these days. I saw you down in Miami. You claim my city as home, and we welcome you because you that type of guy, and we appreciate a guy like yourself coming down there and being a part of that. But how was your off season, you know, before you got to these, you know, these practices now with the skin? What were you doing through your off season to prepare you to be going through OTAs and stuff now?
Like during every summer, man, I just go down to Miami, you know, enjoy the weather, and you know, get some great training in. You know, I train with DBC. It's down in Miami District. LeBron James and D Wade, they train there. So I definitely go down there, try to train with some of the best athletes in the world. You know, with LeBron and D Wade. So, and it's more biomechanics. Not just going out there lifting all heavy.
I saw you doing some of everything. You was boxing and you catching tennis balls, and I saw you, man. I was watching you, ladders and everything.
Just trying to keep it all, everything. You know, whether it's basketball, boxing, whether it's, you know, sliding your feet, you know, whatever. Just keeping everything active. You know what I'm saying? Not just doing football all the time. You know, I can do football in my sleep. So, you know, I try to do other things to help my movements out.
I want to follow up on that, DJ. You know, do you see workouts throughout your career in football? Have you seen them really change? Because I know coming up when I played football, it was all just lifting weights and get as big and as strong as you can. But you're talking about more pliable type things.
Plyometrics, all that stuff.
It definitely changed. You know, from my first 2 years, I changed my diet. You know, that was another thing that's helped me too. Along with the training, you know, early in my career, you know, I wanted to, you know, try to lift and get big. You know, I'm like, man, I need to get big. But, you know, now in year 6, it's like, man, I need to be faster. And that's where the biomechanics come in at. And, you know, just taking care of my body. If I need a shoulder workout, I'm going to do a shoulder workout because that's how I'm feeling today. If I need if my legs bother me, I'm going to get that leg going because, you feel me, that's what's going to help me. You know, it's things that's going to help me instead of just going out there trying to pump all the iron you can do.
Now, DJ, you from Greenwood, South Carolina, right?
The Wood, man.
Okay.
Wood.
I got a question for you. Now, I'm a Maryland boy, right? But one of my best friends is from Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Okay, you right down the street.
Now, DJ, he country as hell, dog.
Yeah, all the way.
Who's more country, Spartanburg or Greenwood? Because Spartanburg country is hell.
All of them geechee now. I'm telling you, they all geechee.
Yeah, we all geechee, man. You know, but you know, I don't know, man. 'Cause look, I think we more country, man. 'Cause we down there, and we lower than Spartanburg. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
Look, I don't want
to. Hey, but to tell you the truth, now Spartanburg, they get on out there. Now.
That's what he said.
That's what I know too.
They definitely get on out there. The wood, we get on too.
Okay.
It's crazy about when I met DJ, and I think we met the first time we met. He came to my house to play cards. He was newly acquired by the Skins, and I watched him. I've been watching him, from way back, and just knowing what he can bring. And I remember when they said he from South Carolina. Now, all my life, I always heard, you got family in South Carolina, that boy, them boy down there. And when I first talked, we hit it off so well. I'm like, you know what? He just don't know, man. I got that South Kakalaki in me a little bit too. So that's what I knew from the first time we met, that he got whatever he had in him is in me. I was born and raised in Miami, but my folks from everywhere, and I have a lot of folks up there in the Carolina area from North and South Carolina. But when I heard him speak and just seen how his vibe was, real mellow, cool dude, man, about his business at all times, I knew it was something special about the dude.
Well, see, I'm a DMV boy, so I think you, Tanner, and my homeboy are all country as hell. But I love y'all though. I love y'all though.
Dirty South, man. Anywhere in the dirty South, man, you gonna have your little twist to your word.
Straight up.
You feel me?
Time now for Santana's State of the Skins with DJ Swearinger. All right, I need both of y'all to weigh in on this. We'll start with you, DJ. You're our guest. It's only right. Your thoughts on the Redskins draft?
I love it. I love it, man. My 6 years of being in the league, having 5 different head coaches, seeing how 4 or 5 different organizations being run. I think this is the best draft class I've been a part of, just from seeing top to bottom, from your first rounder to your second rounder to your third rounder, all the way to your Mr. Irrelevant, to tell you the truth. This is my first time I really took the time and I watched, the guys' highlight films, the highlight film is the highlight film, but you can tell an athlete from a guy that's just making plays, you know what I'm saying? You can tell a football player when you just cut on the tape. And when I cut on the tape, I definitely see a lot of football players, not just guys that's, going out there and just doing it because it's the college level, but I see a lot of football players in this draft, and it's definitely going to help us, especially on the D-line and defense.
Well, he spoke about Mr. Irrelevant himself. And I recall, I told you, every morning I get up, it's something about Jalen Rose I like. I don't know what it is, man. Cool brother. Down to earth. I met him years ago as a player, as an NFL player and a college player, and he's always showed me that love and respect. And I'm watching the show he has on ESPN called Get Up, and they had Ryan Clark had a segment on there, and they asked him a question about certain guys in the draft, Redskins particularly, and he spoke about the kid Trey Quinn, Mr. Irrelevant, and he said that he's a Louisiana-born guy that played at LSU and then had to transfer to SMU. And the numbers that he put up, and they asked him, compare him. He was saying that someone else had to compare him. And he said he was pleased to see that no one compared him with Wes Welker. He said whoever there was that they asked to compare this kid, they compared him with, I forgot the kid name from Detroit, but he played at Seattle.
Golden Tate.
Golden Tate. And when I watched the film, Run Out the Catch was second to none, like a Golden Tate type receiver. And I was more impressed. Look, I've already, I told you weeks ago that I wanted Payne first.
Big boy.
Swearinger and me had the same idea when it came to, filling that void at the D-tackle position. But when we got those other guys like Darius, Geis and you name it, Settle and all those other guys, Hamilton, Stroman, Quinn stood out the most to me because you look at it and say, what can we fill in the void from other positions that people wasn't high on? We've been high on our receivers for years. We talked about Josh Doxson all year last year, and I feel like he had a stellar rookie season. To me, that was his rookie year still all over again. And, in basketball, you can come in the league and miss the whole season and then play your second year and be a rookie. Why can't they do it in the NFL?
Right.
So, just going back on Trey Quinn, man, just knowing what he can bring to this team, Ryan Clark said that this kid can be a guy that we watch and see a lot of highlights from this year. So I think when it comes to talking about the draft, beyond the stellar picks, beyond the picks that we all was mesmerized by, guys like Quinn, Stroman is the guy that had 4 picks last year at VTech. When you at VTech, you in one of the biggest divisions. You're playing against some of the best. You can't overlook stuff like that. I think he could come and be a contributor easily on our defense, especially losing a Fuller. Then you got guys like Settle. You got guys like Christian at tackle. You never know what might happen on our offensive line. We've been seeing that from years. We have one of the best in the league in Trent. I think Trent takes so much pressure that he ends up finding himself hurt at times because he has to carry the load. You have a guy behind him, if need be, that could come in there and fill that void. This draft has been one of the better drafts that I've seen in years. I played 10 years for the Skins. I've been in this area now, you count, 14 years as a total, and this is the first draft that I've seen that we didn't go after the sexy pick. I've been saying this for so long. We always think sexy. We want jersey sales. Right. We want what the fans want to come in and see. But if you bring all those guys in and we're not filling the voids in to help those guys guys find their way out of these uniforms into someone else's uniform. So I think we did what was needed. We gave ourselves a chance to win this year, and I'm more than pleased. I gave him an A grade, and I think from any player that's in those locker rooms feel the same way.
DJ, you feel the same?
I feel the same way, exact way, man. We got a lot of talent. We just got to put the proof in the pudding now.
Straight up.
Well, look, we can't do a State of the Skins without talking Alex Smith. Obviously, we all know how you felt with Kendall Fuller. That was your dog. He's gone now. In comes Alex. What have you seen from Alex so far? Have you had a chance to talk to him? And what are your thoughts on the new quarterback?
Yeah, I talked to him right before we started up. He said, like he said, he's a kid in the candy store. Can't wait to get it started. And, you got to love that coming from your new quarterback, one of your new leaders, 13-year guy that's been in the league, has a lot of experience. I know I played against Alex twice in my career. He beat me twice. But can't wait to see what he can do. I really haven't seen much. We just lifting right now. And offense stand on offense and defense stand on defense. But I know the sky the limit with our offense and with all the weapons that he's going to have back. Jay Reed back, Crowd in the slot, Doc back healthy. We got Geis in the backfield with CT and P. Ryan go come in there and bowl and ball you, And we got Vernon, the speed demon. Man, the offense gonna be crazy, man.
He could be hype.
My hair's just raised up on my arm, man. Come on now.
And this
preach to us.
Like I'm telling them boys on the defensive side, I don't care what's on the offensive side. We trying to go in and win every game as a defense. And if we do that and everybody get on the same page as the defense, I don't care what they score on the offensive side.
Speaking of that, man, and see, I like that about you. That's what I knew about you from day one. When I saw you come in here, we played cards together. Look, one of the things I found out as being a player that you find a lot about a guy off the field, how he rolls, what his demeanor is, where's his mind at. And I'm not playing. I'm not in those locker rooms no more. But I'm still, around some of these guys in the locker room. And when I got introduced to Swag, to DJ Swearinger, I realized, this is a down-to-earth brother, and he's about his business. Due to the fact that you're about your business, what are some of the things that you saw? You said you played against Alex. What are some of the things you saw that when that whole trade went down, you knew that, hey, you know what? You might not be happy about the Fuller situation, but I'm okay with knowing that we got a guy like Alex. What are some of the things that he showed you from playing against him that you knew that he can bring to this team and help us be a contender?
Great question.
Big time game management. You talk about the stats last year. You take from 13 interceptions to 5 interceptions. That's a whole 2-3 games right there. If you take away certain turnovers, and he's always been the game manager. You're not going to just pick off Alex Smith. You're gonna have to really break on the ball to pick him off, and that's something that I always seen from my rookie year. He's a leader. You can definitely tell that from a mile away. He has command on his offenses. Last year he's checking 1, 2, 3, 4, and checking it down to the back. A lot of quarterbacks without experience don't do that, but the great quarterbacks definitely gonna see all five targets and get it to the best man. And if And if he don't get it to the best man, he still got wheels. He can run. He can get outside the pocket. And I didn't know Alex was like 6'3", 6'4".
What?
Like, he's tall, bro. He like 6'3" though.
Big body, ain't he?
Yeah, I didn't know he was that tall, bro.
He got
some
some
about 6'3" though.
Wow.
At least about 6'3". I didn't know he was that tall. I thought he was about 6 foot. But he tall though.
Wow.
Hey, DJ, man, y'all talking about playing cards a lot, man. What y'all play, like tunk, spades, poker?
Tell them what we play,
What's going on?
Man, we play Boo Ray.
Boo Ray?
What the hell is that?
Boo you. That's what's up. You learn.
It's basically a spades, tunk, and poker all together.
All together. Yeah. It's like 3 games all together, man. And trust me, you be out there in that 5 you want to, you going to get booed.
Yeah.
You going to get booed. And if you get booed, guess what you're doing?
What?
You paying the whole pot.
Damn.
Whatever out there, you don't come up with a book, you owe it.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, DJ, I'm going to stay in my financial lane, but I will do this.
Man.
I will
each his own.
Hey, I'll challenge you right now to Uno. I'll beat your ass at Uno, DJ.
We can get it going, man. You know we can get it going, man.
Hey, DJ gonna bet you. Look, he's a gambler. He's a degenerate. When it comes to gambling, he will gamble you and get like me. And who can blow a spitball the farthest? Whatever it is, he will take. He would compete against anything. So hopscotch, whatever it is, now he gonna do
whatever
it.
you want to do.
Oh man,
I'm getting the trophy, man.
Well, on that note. Time now for story time with Santana. Listen up. He's got a story to tell, and so does DJ Swearinger.
Yes, sir.
All right, so look, we done talk draft. I got to get your draft story, man. Second round pick to the Texans. What were you doing draft day? Did you feel like you were going to be a first rounder? Sort of just give me your whole draft story, DJ.
Yeah, so coming out, I thought it was chances of late first round, but for sure early second. I got a word that if Matt Elam went before the 32nd pick, that I was gonna be that 32nd pick to the Ravens. I knew they was gonna take Matt Elam or me 32nd. I didn't get that call the first day. You know, that definitely hurt me. I always wanted to go first round, but I definitely the second day I had my party either way. You know, I didn't have it on the first day because I had a feeling. You know, I'll probably go on the second day, you know. So I had a draft party, man. I was I seen 3 safeties get took in the first round, and then I saw a safety get took the first pick of the second round. So I'm like, man, this 4 safeties, I know these boys they not on my level, you know, just being a competitor, just having the senior season that I had, you know, it just they wasn't on my level. That's why I felt. And then, you know, I got a call late. I'm actually, after a while, I got frustrated. I'm like, man, I'm about to start playing the game, man. I started playing Angry Birds. I'm hot, man. It's Dallas.
Blowing up stuff, huh?
Fast, man. I'm
you like, blowing up stuff before you got a chance to really blow up something, huh?
I was like, man, whoever picked me, dog, they
how
gonna
you
get a
feel,
player.
Huh?
They gonna get a player. So, you know, I seen that 832 area code. I was like, man, it can't be H-Town. And, you know, they called me, and it was history from that round.
Wow, man, that's crazy. So
57 pick, second round, and I got drafted with two of my boys. I got drafted. One of my it's 3 of us from around the same area. 2 of us got drafted together and went to high school. We went to high school together. Sam Montgomery got drafted. I got drafted second round. My high school teammate got drafted third round.
Wow,
and me and Hopkins, all in the same league. So first 3 players is all from the 864.
Wow. So look, I want to talk about one of your old teammates from high school, Josh Norman. You guys played high school ball together. Now, obviously, you're on the Redskins together. Was there any recruiting at all to get you guys together at the Redskins and talk about being high school teammates?
Well, recruiting wise, it wasn't really no recruiting. You know, I just texted him. I was like, bro, we probably could get back together and be like old high school times again. You know, I shot him that text. And then I think he just winked at me or something, you know, like he had already put in the word or whatever. But, you know, when I seen the opportunity, of course, you know, anytime, you know, I'm from a small town. We got like 30, 35,000. You know, it's a blessing anytime you can make it out for where I'm from. And let alone have 2 players to be on the same football team, you know, that won the same state championship, you know, in 06, you know, that's a blessing. So, I definitely want to do that for the city, for where we from. So the guys looking at, coming up, looking at us like, man, they definitely made it out. We can make it out too. So that was definitely a blessing, man, getting here and getting on the same team with Josh. In high school, man, it was all about defense with us, man. We was the defense. Everybody, they come to the wood, you get smacked. You get smacked. There's no discussion, man. Look, you go
none of that.
Brian Quick. You go ask Brian Quick, man. Look, Brian Quick came down, man. Brian Quick them had like 3,000-yard receivers, man. Brian Quick came through like the first quarter, man. He came across the middle. Josh hit him in the back, knocked him out the game, and I picked the ball off. That video's still on YouTube, too.
Wow.
I want no smoke from them boys in the wood. You hear me?
Hey, man.
No smoke. Coach,
number one defense
send me deep, Coach. I don't want nothing across the middle. Coach, send me deep.
Hey, number one defense in the state, man. It was crazy.
Man. Well, hey.
But to tell you the truth, man, the year we won state, that was our least talented group. It's all about chemistry and family.
Wow.
It's all about chemistry and family.
Hey, what was Josh like as a high school player? Is he similar to what he is now?
Well, Josh played safety. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't know that.
Like we both, like his senior year was my sophomore year. He played basically like strong safety, and I always was back in the middle playing free. So he was sort of the wrong guy down in the box and blitzing and stuff like that. But so he was actually a safety.
Hey, DJ. I'm a Miami guy and born and raised in that 305. And it's crazy. I tell guys my story all the time about how I got to Miami. A lot of people don't know that getting into that situation of being a Miami Hurricane, I had two other schools that was topped on my list. One was Florida State and one was Florida. I love something about the Florida Gators because they have Ike Hilliard, they have, Jaquez, Riddell Anthony, those guys. And I see, I'm always in your basement playing cards, and I see the pictures, and I'm looking at SC, and I'm like, you got a chance to play with the old ball coach himself. I've always wanted to ask you, SC over Clemson. How did that came? Because Clemson's been a team for many years now. But you chose to go to SC, and a lot of you guys from that area, man, has made SC, what they are today. But what made that decision happen for you?
Man, you know what? Coming out, growing up in South Carolina, we don't have a NFL team. Charlotte, right on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. That's really still North Carolina. It's Carolina, but it's North Carolina. So South Carolina, we just look at South Carolina and Clemson as our pro teams. And growing up, Clemson was 45 minutes down the street. Carolina was 2 hours from me. So I thought for sure I was gonna get the Clemson, South Carolina offer. I really didn't get them offers until I went and ran 40s there. I was committed to Tennessee coming out. Because I just wasn't getting the home state interest that I thought I should. Having offers from 20 other different spots. I was like, man, I can't even get the two home state offers. So I felt played, and I actually went. I had to go to a camp. I had to run I ran 4.47. And then they was like, oh, well, we need this guy. We got to have him. I'm like, man, I've been in the state all my life. What you mean you need me now?
Wow.
So it was sort of like I was like, man, I'm committed to Tennessee. I just came here to prove myself. And then Philip Foreman ended up getting resigned. I wanted to stay in the SEC. I didn't really want to play in the ACC. I just really wanted to stay in the SEC. And I didn't want to go to Kentucky, Mississippi State, or Auburn. So, South Carolina ended up being the best choice for me. And I don't regret it to this day. I went there. And actually how it happened, all of us was on our official visit at Tennessee. Me, Stephon Gilmore, Alshon Jeffrey, Devontae Holloman, a lot of the guys, we was all committed elsewhere. But we was just like, man, let's just go to South Carolina, bro, and start our own dynasty. And we all went to South Carolina with the old ball coach, and we was the Glory Boys when we was there, man. Most winning. We had the most wins my senior class did in school history.
Give me a little story about the old ball coach. I heard many stories about him especially from Smoot last week. Yeah. And he talked about how he was as the NFL coach. I always looked up to the guy because of what he did at Florida, some of the things he did with his passing game. I mean, man, a young high school guy. Bro, I used to get my moves. Look, I played on Friday nights. Saturdays, I'm out in the streets doing whatever, we did back then in those days, back in 96, 97. I don't want to tell my age too much. And Sundays, I didn't watch college football that much on Saturday. So Sunday, I would go back on Sunshine Network and I would watch all the highlights from Florida game that they played on Saturday. So some of the things that Ike Hilliard, those guys did back in those days, I would take it and put it in my game. What was some of the things? Give me a story about the old ball coach. How was he as a coach to you, man?
Man, Coach Spurrier, he definitely had his favorites.
Yeah.
For sure had his favorites. He had guys that couldn't do no wrong, but he would never say that much to the defense. The offense, he in the quarterback.
He knew it.
He all in the quarterback. It ain't no sparing Garcia or Connor Shaw. They go get it. They go get it full force. He out there. He gonna be out there with no shirt on. Think he getting a tan. gonna have this NFL ball. He got an NFL ball, telling everybody he can make every throw. Still dead, but like a bubble gum. But he out there with his visor on, shirt off. And he talking cash.
Man, I did not know this about the old ball coach, man.
But look, he didn't never say nothing to the defense. Only time he said something to defense now, like
when y'all was whooping him.
And that was every day. Cause we had Clowney on one side.
Yeah, I knew it had to be trouble now.
Melvin Ingram. We had Melvin Ingram as a D tackle. We had Devin Taylor for the Detroit Lions. He was on the outside.
Bro,
it wasn't fair, dog. And I remember in practice, man, Coach Whammy, man, Coach Ward, our defensive coordinator. Hey, we gonna kick his ass all day today. Look, and Coach Spurrier, we're not worried about that. Listen. If we give up another sack, take Clowney out of practice. We used to take them boys out of practice, man, because they could not get a pass off. It was too dominant, dog. But it made us all better, man. When we see Coach Spurrier and the D coordinator arguing about who better, that's when we knew it was live. So the competition in practice was so crazy. It was just when we went out there on Saturdays, it was easy.
That's great, man, to hear those kind of stories because, I was once a part of, a team like that had so many guys that was, privileged enough to go out there and make it an NFL level and not just make it, be dominant, be players that you can talk about to this day. So I want to fast forward a little bit with you. You spent some time in Houston. And you got a chance to play with a teammate of mine, Ed Reed. I'm not sure how much he played, around that time he was there or not because I knew he was on that part of his career where he was trying to say, let me take on whatever they're giving me right now. He done so much for Baltimore, and then Houston gave him a chance to come over there. What was it like, man? I just really want to hear this from you. What was it like being a part of, that team and just knowing you had Ed Reed, to me considered right now one of the greatest to play the position? What was it like to watch and learn from him, man?
He the GOAT.
Man, you know what? It was crazy because, when I seen the 832 area code coming out, I was like, man, I want to go to Washington to follow Sean T. I want to go to Baltimore to carry on Ray Lewis and Ed. Or I want to go to Houston to play with Ed. So it was one of them three teams just to follow legacies of the people that I grew up watching. And, when I seen the 832, I was like, bro, I know I ain't going to H-Town with Ed. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So when I got there, it was the most humbling experience ever. We still to this day, I call him uncle, he called me nephew. He took me up under his wing, from day one. I go to his crib, we kicking it at the crib. He talking life to me, not even football. He always used to talk real life to me, and then he'll get to the football stuff. He had the film room and up in his room looking like the regular meeting room. We always got it in. He kept the iPad with him, and still stuff to this day. I try to install to the young guys today what he taught me because a lot of those words and conversations I'll never forget, and it's still helping me to this day. And like I told him, I sent him out a text. I was like, man, I'm just now understanding what you was telling me then. When I was a rookie, I was hearing it, but I was blind to it because I didn't really know what you were saying. But now when I'm in year 6, I'm like, man, Ed told me this, bro, 6 years ago. Wow. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just now understand what he's saying because experience is something that you can't really coach.
It's everything.
You got to really be in it to, learn how to do it. And, I tip my hat to Ed, Hall of Fame guy any day, man.
Yeah. I mean, in my opinion, DJ, I want to get yours. I think he's the GOAT.
Oh, no
I think about, obviously
Easy.
Sean T's life got cut down way too
Way
early.
too
I think Ronnie Lott. But I'm like, for modern day football, especially, Ed Reed was almost really ahead of his time, DJ.
Yeah, for real,
Ed,
for real.
You know,
and like,
go ahead, DJ.
Before he came to us, the man missed 8 games, went and played 8 games, got 8 picks.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about
like,
it.
That's GOAT status, man.
Look, I tell you this, and I know we have to move on, but I remember me and Ed came in the same freshman class at University of Miami. Ed came in, and me and my classmate from Carroll City, my high school in Miami, he was the one that was recruited by I was the guy that came on a track scholarship. Ed said immediately he thought me and this other freshman who was, ended up being sweet mates with Ed that year, was older guys. He said just looking at us, he thought we was older guys. And that year, Ed couldn't play. We used to go by Coach Curtis Johnson's house a lot. He's the receiver coach for the New Orleans Saints right now. If you ever wonder why New Orleans Saints wide receivers getting off, because Curtis Johnson. And Ed twisted his ankle playing the pickup basketball game, and he couldn't play as a freshman with us. Me, Reggie Wayne, which was his roommate, which was my suite mate, and Devin Brown, we all played as true freshmen. 4 guys that shared the rooms together played as true freshmen. Ed couldn't play because of his sprained ankle, but we knew he was going to be the guy. And when he got a chance to be the guy, bro, I mean, it was guys looking at this man like, how can he be so ahead of the game at a young age? This guy would tell me. It was funny because all Ed friends would come to the game, and they was like, man, every time we hear you score a touchdown and Ed get a pick. And I was like, well, that's our thing. I was one of those guys from the boot to them because they come from New Orleans. They call it the boot. And they like, man, we come to see our boy Ed ball, but Santana, you find some reason to, go out there and shine with him. But I love the guy, man. He was a guy like, Swearinger just, talked about, man, he talked life. And to this day, man, when you see him, man, he's been about his business, so humble, way mature for his time. I always told Ed he acted like he was a grown man when he was 18.
Straight up.
Straight up.
He did things a little differently, man. But I appreciate that little story because that's the guy I know.
Time now for one of my favorite segments, Tana Talking DMV with DJ Swearinger. All right, DJ, I'm going to stunt a little bit for my boy Tana. He's humble. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and stunt for him.
Do it for me,
now,
cuz.
Tana goes to Wizards games. He's friends. Listen to me, DJ. Friends with Alexander Ovechkin. He's friends with Max Scherzer. I mean, he rubs shoulders with the who's who in DC sports. So, DJ, I want to know from you, because you've been here for a minute. Do you pay attention to any other DC sports other than the Redskins?
Yeah, I check out the basketball team all the time, and of course Bryce Harper. That was one of my favorite baseball players when he came out.
Yeah.
And what about living? What about living here? I mean, you've lived in other places. You mentioned H-Town, of course, but the other places that you've lived, how does the DMV kind of compare? Do you love it here?
I definitely like it here. One thing that's definitely different for me. This is my 5th city. Like, this is the coldest city I've been in. Everywhere I've been, Houston is hot.
Right.
Tampa is hot.
Yes.
Arizona is hot. So this was definitely changing me having to wear a little long sleeve. That definitely switched up. But the thing is, I got a lot of family in the DMV area, bro. Like, I got like 30 Swearingers in Maryland and DC.
So the family reunion is in the DMV.
It's here.
Yeah, we heavy.
Who got them ribs on the grill?
Everywhere, man. Like Tana said, my family everywhere.
Yeah, straight
Florida,
up.
DMV, North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina. We spread out, man. We real big.
Them daggone Swearingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Swearinger, Smiths, Coleman's, and Feltons.
Wow.
They everywhere.
That's crazy, man. Hey, let me ask you, out of all those hot cities, which one is the most hot where you just walk out the house and start sweating?
See, Houston was the one where you go start sweating because it's like when I was there, the 2 years that I was there, we had the most 100-degree weathers there. We had count with 25 days straight with over 110-degree weather.
Whoa, Lord!
And like AZ, it's about 115 in AZ, but it's dry, so you don't know when you don't really sweat out there. So it's Houston is definitely humid, the most hot I ever been. Like, I used to have to wear two like, and count my second year. See, my first year, Kubiak practiced at 7. So it was hot, but it wasn't that hot. second year, O'Brien had us out there at 1 o'clock.
Oh,
like
wow.
1 o'clock. I had to wear 2 pairs of cleats every day, every single day.
You sweat them out.
Sweat them out every single day. I never had to do that. I never seen people get IVs before practice.
What?
Wow. Yeah.
We getting IVs before practice. I'm like, man, I know it's about to be crazy out here.
You was gonna be lean,
right?
Yeah.
That's something make you lean.
Yeah,
but
you can't keep no weight on with that right there.
For real, man. It was crazy.
All right, time now for What We Watching. All right, so Santana and I talk every week about our shows, DJ, but we can't have a conversation about what we watching without first finding out what are you into. We know you're busy, obviously, now being back on the field and everything, but when you get a chance, what do you watch? What do you DVR? What can't you miss? It could be movies, too. What you watching?
Yeah, I'm probably watching movies. I got it on ESPN, got it on NFL Network. I'm really checking out all the sports, man. I'm checking out all the sports, but you know, when that power come back on, I'm definitely gonna be on that power.
Yeah.
I can't miss that
Ghost.
power. That's one thing that I can't miss. When that power come back on, 50 Cent get it back rolling. I'm in that power every Friday or whatever it is.
Hey, DJ, I don't care if anybody's watching this podcast ain't caught up. I got to ask you this question about power. I almost cried, DJ, when Baby Girl got dropped, man. I almost cried, man.
No. Yeah, it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But I know they're going to have something better for us when it. She might pop up out the blue, though. You never know. Knowing Ghost, man.
You never know, huh?
You never know.
Well, check it. I'm gonna share with y'all a little bit what I'm watching, and it's crazy because we speak every week about something new and what we got on the tube. I'm one of those guys. I'm in the house a lot, especially after being one of those guys that run up and down those lines. I find my security sitting on my couch with my legs propped up a little bit. If I ain't working out, I'm working out these eyes, and I'm watching something on the tube. But one of the things that I've watched. Two shows I watched on Netflix. DJ, I'm not sure you're familiar with these shows. The first show is Bloodline. Have you ever heard of it?
I have heard of Bloodline.
Must see. See. If you haven't seen Bloodline, watch Bloodline. The series is off the chain. The show second to Bloodline, which first on my list is Ozark.
Oh, yo, that's crazy.
Ozark.
On Netflix. Write this down right now, DJ. I promise you. I promise you, if you ain't doing nothing at home, you watching Bloodline or Ozark on Netflix. Yeah. Netflix has gave us an opportunity nowadays. Netflix was almost finna be, extinct. You know what I mean? There would be no more Netflix. And they say, you know what? We finna rebirth ourselves and give these shows what it's due. Bro, and now they come back with so many different shows, man. But Ozark itself, man, is right now one of the best series out there on Netflix.
That's like a cartel show or something, isn't it?
It's a show with the guy. I'm pretty sure you're probably familiar with Jason Bateman.
Yeah, the guy from American Pie, DJ Swearinger. You remember American Pie, the movie?
He's in this. He works for this financial firm, and he's partners with a guy that that's doing business with a cartel member. They don't know. His partner is basically stealing from this guy. And the guy don't even know he's being stole from. He comes in and just scares everybody. Scares everybody and say, let's see if I'm being stole. I guess that's one of the things you do when you're making so much money and you don't know where it's going.
Right.
Let me just test these guys, see if they stealing. And the guy who was stealing from him kind of bust on himself. Basically he didn't even know that this guy was stealing from him. He bust on himself. Jason was the only guy that didn't bust. He was like, well, he asked him, how you know somebody's stealing? He told him everything, every sign you can possibly, find out from a guy who's stealing. And he realized at the end of the day that this guy, Jason, is a more reliable partner to be with than the guy that he's partners with. He killed his partners. Don't want to tell you the whole story. Don't want to tell you the whole story. But he killed his partners, and then now him and Jason's in business. So it's a must-see. Anybody who's listening must see Ozark on Netflix.
Me and DJ gonna get after that, man. Hey,
definitely about to check it out.
DJ, I know you're a sports fan and you mentioned basketball, so I got two questions for you. Do you think Houston will beat Golden State, and do you think LeBron will lose in the Eastern Conference?
Nah, LeBron ain't losing, but I think Houston definitely got a chance to beat them boys. Especially if they're not healthy. Because if Curry don't play game one, Houston gonna take game one. I feel like, and that's just the head start that a hot team like Houston don't need. But you can't really count them boys out if everybody healthy in Golden State. you can't really count them out. But I don't think they ready for the Houston attack. It's different. You know what I'm saying? They ain't really nobody. I don't think really been. Nobody ain't really showed that type of offense with CP3 and James Harden can run the point. You know what I'm saying? Both your points go give you action. You know what I'm saying? And they got shooters out this
Everybody's
league.
shooting ball.
Everybody
get a check.
Yeah, so
they go
shoot.
Everybody.
They go
get a
shoot
three.
the Trey ball right with the Warriors. So I think Harden go have it at the end of the day, man. This is time.
Wow. Hey, DJ, let me ask you this, because you tell me if I'm crazy. I agree with you on LeBron, right? But I think if LeBron play Golden State win the championship.
Yeah.
If LeBron and them play Houston, I think LeBron can get them, DJ.
If LeBron play Houston,
it's tough all the way around.
Yeah, it is tough all the way around.
To me, for LeBron to be in that situation, it's tough all the way around. I mean, I feel like it's, I'm a LeBron fan, so who I'm rooting for. Of
course.
But they don't have a team for Houston or
so
Golden
he'll
State
lose
right
to
now.
either one, you think?
I don't want to say he will because I'm not
so?
that guy. I'm always optimistic about his opportunities and anybody chances. But I just feel like it's tough. It's a tough hill. It's a tough battle to climb up that ladder because I feel like he's doing so much right now. When it comes time, if they make it there,
he's doing
that far,
everything.
Yes, exactly.
He's doing
if they make it that far, then it's going to be to the point to where I think he's going to be overwhelmed with his task that he has to go out there and that person he has to be for that team is going to be overwhelming for him.
And see, this is the thing about Golden State, about Houston. Like when Harden sat out, you still had Gordon drop 30. You still had CP3 drop 30. You know what I'm saying? Like Bron sit out, it's over with Cleveland. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like they ain't really got no second or third scorer that can just take the ball like Kyrie did last year and just take over a game. Like Houston, they got 3-4 players that can take over a game. Golden State got 3-4 players that can take over a game. So I think it's between Houston and Golden State, truthfully.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up like this. Finish the sentence. All right, DJ, I'm going to say a sentence to both you and Tana. Y'all finish it off for me. We'll start with you.
Okay.
All right, DJ, here we go. My favorite college football moment was
when we beat Alabama 2010. They came in popping like they was hot.
Yes.
They number one. They number one
yes,
in the nation. They had 30 wins in a row, and then they came down to old Willie Bryce. We gave it to them boys 33-10. Stopped that whole streak. The Glory Boys, man, came down there talking crazy.
Hey, man, one of the things I talk about the most, man, when it comes to college memories, I have so many of them. So I'm not going to sit here and pat myself on the back,
Do it.
But when it comes to the outcome of a game, my favorite moment was beating Florida State my senior year.
Woo.
You got to understand something about it. Florida State was the team that I looked up to. I was a Chief in high school. So it's crazy how I ended up being a Redskin, but I was a Chief. And our home chant was, So it was only right that I go out there and be a FSU, and when I remember when Florida State came to our practices and the guys they looked at and they looked at me, I was hurt because I was a fan. But like I said, I was always a fan of everybody in Miami. But to beat those guys, finally beat those guys, I've always played big with them, played big against them. But my senior year, when I beat them, and everybody know the whole saying, I said, big-time players step up in big-time games.
Sir.
I shed a tear, too. But at the end of the day, that was my favorite moment.
Wow, that's deep.
Football.
All right, DJ, I'm going deep with you on this one, bro. Be ready.
Let's do it.
The first time I fell in love with football was
when I was probably 4 years old, bro.
I knew I liked that boy.
Playing back in the projects, man. We playing against whoever, whoever wanted, we go play, throw them up, bust them up. I'm 4 years old. I'm playing against 10 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old. I just remember when I was little, I'm like, bro, he don't cry, bro. He don't get hurt. Yeah. Like, I'm 4 years old. I'm playing against the top dogs, but I'm still holding my ground no matter how old, how small I was. I'm going to get back up. They knocked me into the bricks. I'm going to get back up like ain't nothing happened. That's when I knew I was going to be special.
Crazy. See, that's crazy because I can allude to something that around the same age, 4 or 5 years old, and I'm outside in front of my grandmother's house, is where I was staying at the time. We were staying on 6th Avenue on 79th Street in Miami, Florida, down the street from a Holiday Inn. And the Holiday Inn was where the Miami Dolphins was staying at, and they would actually enter the 95 Expressway in front of my grandmother's house. The ramp was directly in front of my grandmother's house. My uncle had me outside playing throw-up tackle. Just me and him, though. Just me and him. The same uncle that knocked my teeth out my mouth.
Same one.
The same uncle that knocked my teeth out my mouth teaching me this game. And he showed me, I'm wondering why these policemen on motorcycles and cars going up this expressway ramp, and I'm seeing these buses and cars follow. And I'm like, who is that? 4 or 5 years old, I remember it. And he said, that's the Miami Dolphins. They playing at the Orange Bowl Stadium, not too far from my grandmother's house. And, so at that time, I was clueless about who the Miami Dolphins was.
Right.
Too young to know. And I remember waving one day, and, a guy in the car waved back. And they said that was Dan Marino in the car.
Wow.
And I shared this story with Dan Marino just recently. I met him. I said, man, when you waved back at me, I knew I was going to do the same thing you do. Wow. And I remember my uncle told me every other Saturday, because I used to come out every Sunday looking for him. And I had to find the hard way. They don't play home every Sunday. So I would go in there and watch the games wherever they played at. And I wasn't really a big fan of the Dolphins, period, the whole time growing up in Miami. But I was just a fan of knowing that this is what I want to do one day. And that's when I fell in love with the game.
I mean, DJ's getting hit up against bricks at 4. Tanner's waving at Dan Marino at 4. I was still boo-booing my pants at 4 years old.
Man, I was going to school, man. I became phone, man.
Oh, man.
Getting a whooping every day, man, because I'm drop kicking people in class.
Oh, man.
DJ, finish the sentence. I knew I could be a pro at this game when I
picked off, my sophomore year, actually, they moved me from linebacker to safety my sophomore year. On my birthday, my 15th birthday, I got a pick against South Aiken. And I almost cribbed it. I went like 80 yards with it. But from that day on, I knew, I was like, man, because I always liked basketball. Basketball still is my number one sport. And I still drop off overseas guys in Miami every single day to this day. Wow. But I went the football route just because in Greenwood it's all about football. And anytime, when you growing up in Greenwood, I don't know if y'all heard Pastor Troy G Ready.
Of course.
Of course. So that was our theme song growing up. So everybody, that's the band play that probably 10 times a game. When you hear the G Ready, like we from Greenwood, so the G Ready. So anytime you hear the G Ready, like growing up in high school, hearing that, you go want to play on the kickoff team because they go play that G Ready and everybody's gonna be live on the kickoff. So once I got my first pick and stepped in the door, I knew it was over with. I'm playing in the league.
Hey, DJ, I'm telling you right now, Pastor Troy is one of the most underrated rappers of all time.
Oh, yeah, man. P. Troy got us through them days in high school.
Yes, sir. Tanner, I knew I'd be a pro at this game when I.
It's funny because, DJ talked about high school. And high school, I was still trying to find myself, and I got a chance to play on the collegiate stage. And I didn't know that I was going to be a pro until I always had dreams of being a pro. But when I knew I had arrived and I was going to be a pro, my college coach, just talked about him, Curtis Johnson, he told us, if you play big against Florida State, you might as well go ahead and have that meeting with me, shake my hand, because you're going to be gone the next year.
Wow.
And I was too young to be gone this particular season, but I didn't play my freshman year against Florida State. I got in trouble the week before, got suspended for the game. The second year, next year, I'm balling, out of control, my sophomore, true sophomore. And the first play of the game, they designed it for me to go deep on Florida State. I dropped the ball, and the ball hit off my face, man. I dropped it. I was remembered by that the whole year long. But that game, I still had 99 yards with a touchdown against Florida State. My junior year, my coach gave me and Reggie Wayne that speech, like, look, you guys go out here and play today against these guys and ball out. I'm going to be shaking y'all hands, telling y'all how nice it was coaching you. And I went out there and had 2 touchdowns for 180 against them in a losing effort. And I remember we lost the game, but the Sports Center went up in a craze about my performance. And I was sitting on my bed at home, pissed off that we lost, but not knowing that I was just put to the point to where I put myself out there for the world to see that I play big against this team every year, and I can be out of here. I can play on the next stage. And that's when I really realized that I have a chance at the next level. At 5'9", 180-something pounds, that Santana Moss wearing at number 6, I can be that guy on the next stage. So that gave me that insurance that I can go and play on the next level, but I wasn't finished with what I had in store for college yet.
Okay, well, let's start with you with this one, OG. Playing for the Redskins has been.
Man, you know what? And it's crazy because, you know, my stint in 10 years for the Redskins went way West Coast from the 4 years I spent with the Jets.
Right.
I say this because as a Jet, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy as a Jet. I came into there, I was the world stopper. I was going to do everything for them as a punt returner receiver. Got hurt instantly, and everyone turned their backs on me. Everyone turned their head, and they didn't give me. They kind of looked at me as like, well, we thought he was going to be that guy. And then I climbed back into their eyes and say, well, I am that guy. Got healthy and balled and put up great numbers. Alternate 2 years in a row. The next year I was alternate as a punt returner for the Pro Bowl. The next year after that I was alternate as a receiver for the Pro Bowl. And then my fourth year, I went out there and they didn't even want to throw me the ball because they knew that it was money time. And I still went out there and led the team in catches, touchdowns, and all that. But out of those 4 years, we went to the playoffs 3 times. And then I get traded the next year to the Redskins. And in 10 seasons as a Redskin, we only go to playoffs 3 times. And you would say, well, man, I spent 4 years here and went 3 times out of 4, and then now I'm 10 years and I'm barely seeing the playoffs. But I was happy as a Redskin. So being a Redskin, allowed me to know that sometimes you have to sacrifice something. You have to sacrifice your happiness, your true, happiness, because you would think that I would be happier winning, which I wanted to win.
Right.
Everything in me wanted to win. But I was the happiest knowing that I had a team that appreciated me. I had a city that appreciated me. And I didn't have to go out there and be more than what I was to get that, that satisfaction. That satisfaction from my coaches and from my teammates. The teammates always knew what type of guy I was. But I felt like in New York, I had to win them because of one little injury. And that shouldn't be the thing. Guys get hurt all the time. So being a Redskin was everything to me. I knew Dan Snyder wanted me from the start. When I got in, he told me the stories. He showed me the kind of owner he was. I hear all over the city so much about who the people think of Dan Snyder, and I tell them, you got the wrong guy. And so, that's one of the reasons why I'm still here, because, being a Redskin showed me that, I can exist in this city, after football and live the life that I'm living now.
DJ, playing for the Redskins has been.
It's been great, man. It's been great. And like OG said, just having that team that really wants you for you, lets you be yourself. This sort of, I say around about the second team that, AZ let me be myself a little bit, but I had to get it out of the mud in AZ because I was 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. In Houston, I felt like Houston was the home for me, but, the coaching changes came. And the second coaching staff didn't give me a chance to be myself. They was, you can't do this, do this, do this. They didn't let me be myself. When I got to Tampa, the first meeting I had with Lovie Smith, he's saying is the negative stuff that he has from Houston, the Houston rep. So, from that day one with Tampa, I just knew he judged me off of what Houston said. He never was going to give me my fair chance, even though in Tampa, I had my best camp ever. You feel me? So when I got to AZ, AZ, I felt like it was more at home. But at the same time, like I said, I was on my the year that I had 4 picks there, I was 4th on the depth chart. I ended up playing by default. I started 12 games, didn't see the field on neither one of the first 4 games until somebody got injured. So, I wasn't the guy at AZ, so I wasn't happy. And when I got here, you feel me? I was the guy from day one. I felt the vibe. I felt like it was family. Playing after my idol. Sean Taylor, seeing this pictures on the wall every day. That's just a blessing. I couldn't be in better shoes. And like I said, I got family all across the DMV. This is home for me. And like I've told people before, I want to retire Redskin.
Wow, I like that. All right, you close it out, Tana. My motto in life is.
Wow. You know what? And I ain't got to think too much when it comes down to this. And we share this all the time. We talk about our grind, our hustle. It's something that I've learned over the years of just being me, and it was put in me from day one from my mom, my dad, just seeing them work for me and work for my brothers. seeing those nights, remembering those nights that they call and say, hey, you got the guys, you got the boys. Make sure everybody eat. Make sure y'all in bed at a certain time. And it was all about grind for what you want. That's been my motto: grind for what you want. To this day, I've been a guy that they told I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna get it. You're not that that caliber of guy, not caliber of player. How you know? How you know what pumps through these veins? What you know that I got in this chest? So, I've always grinded for mine. And that's why at the end of the day, I walk highly. I walk with my head high. Some people might, hate me for it, but oh well. I can't compare myself to him. All I could do is compare myself to me. At the end of the day, everybody live in different shoes and everybody had a different stroke for different folks. But I've grinded for mine. And by any means, I got it, regardless of what circumstances I had to go through to get it. Might not look as peachy as cream as his, but I got it, and at the end of the day, you got to give me credit for it. So that's been my motto from day one.
DJ, my life motto is,
if you don't hunt, you don't eat. Same thing that OG said, if you don't grind, you don't shine. If you don't put in the work, you ain't gonna get nothing out of it. I've been saying that since I was in middle school almost. If you don't hunt, you don't eat. I mean, if the lion not hunting, the family ain't gonna eat. My thing is God, family, football. You feel me? If I'm not grinding, my family ain't gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? If I ain't grinding, I'm not gonna be able to do what I want to do on the football field. It's just go in line. I gotta grind to get mine. I always grinded to get mine. I seen my daddy, seen my mama, seen them work doubles here and there. We moved 7, 8, 9, 10 different houses growing up. So, I seen the different struggle. So I seen them put in the crazy amount of work to get us out of certain situations for me to be at the level I'm at today. You know what I'm saying? My people ain't have to, they ain't have to do what they had to do. They had me in high school. So for me to be on this screen talking to y'all, it's a blessing. I'm humbled every day, and seeing my parents show me that grind that, nobody never go give you nothing. You always go have people doubting you. No matter what, you gotta put your head down and, go get what's yours, And that's my motto. You don't grind, you don't shine, you don't hunt, you don't eat.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate you being on the show, and I appreciate both y'all because, quite frankly, athletes have stereotypes a lot of times that are negative. Both of you brothers, I appreciate those mottos that you have, and I appreciate, what you guys do with the youth. I know it's huge to Santana. Your words, DJ, I'm sure will inspire a lot of guys trying to come up and kids that want to play football and just be upstanding citizens and athletes. So I appreciate both of y'all, man. I think a lot of time in this business that I'm in, of broadcasting, a lot of times broadcasters want to have those gotcha moments and try and get y'all jammed up. And I always said with my career, I wanted to celebrate guys like y'all and show the positive side because it's a lot more positive than the negative. You'll just never tell from the news. So it's big to do a Santana Moss Show podcast to show that. So, DJ, I appreciate that, my man.
You know it. I appreciate y'all for having me, man.
Thank you, man.
Thank you. Need me.
First skiing this year. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yep, you know it.
Hey, and DJ, don't forget, Uno, me and you. Let's go.
Man, I'm on, baby.
Let's go.
Whatever you want it, man.
I'm gonna bring him to the hood, DJ.
Yeah. Right,
I'm gonna bring him out there in Loudoun County.
I will bring him on through, man. We'll break you in. Probably.
Already.
All right, Tanner, man. Episode 4 in the books. We did it again, baby.
Appreciate you, my brother.
As
always.
Fuego, man. This is what we do.
That's what you do, man. You bring it to me.
Oh, hey, listen. We bring it to the people. Matter of fact, go subscribe right now to the Santana Moss Show YouTube page. That's where all our podcasts come. And we're coming soon to Apple Podcasts, too. Keep your eyes and your ears open.
Oh, keep them things pierced. Leave me.